Welcome to the Fast Leader Podcast, where we explore convenient yet effective shortcuts that will help you get ahead and move forward faster by becoming a better leader. And now, here's your host, customer and employee engagement expert, and certified emotional intelligence practitioner, Jim Rimbaugh.
Thanks, Kimberly. Okay, Fast Leader Legion, this particular episode is a little unique because in a moment, I'm going to share with you an interview that was recorded on location at the Customer Experience Professionals Association Member Inside Exchange. I had the opportunity to interview Karyn Furstman, who is the new chair of the association. Karyn is a seasoned executive with over 25 years of business experience. Karyn has held many roles of increasing responsibility. Her passion for championing the customer is evident throughout her career. Karyn is the Vice President of Agent and Customer Experience for Safeco Insurance, which is a Liberty Mutual company, and leads the customer experience, lean process improvements, training, and communications organizations. She was previously the Senior Vice President for JP Morgan Chase, where she led the Washington Mutual Customer Communications Transition Team. At Washington Mutual, she held the first ever retail bank customer experience executive role, where she was responsible for the creation, development, and execution of the overall strategy. Karyn and her team improved quality and consistency of the customer experience across channels, which drove increased loyalty and retention. Karyn also held positions at Bank of America, where she was the Senior Vice President for 10 years in a variety of positions, including sales, support, product management, marketing communications, training, and technology strategy, where she was the program manager for the bank's national Customer Relationship Management Program. Before her move into financial services, Karyn spent over 10 years in various national advertising agencies in Los Angeles and Seattle, and she managed various consumer products and corporate accounts. She is a certified master black belt in Six Sigma and lean methodologies. And beyond all of this technical skill that she has amassed, she is a fantastic leader. And you're going to really enjoy this interview and hear that side of Karyn's success. So now, on to the interview with Karyn.
I am so excited today, folks. I have one of those ladies that I look up to and admire in so many different ways, not just from her professional perspective, but now also knowing that she has 3 boys, a 16-year-old and 2 twin 15-year-olds. You know she's got to be a strong woman. It's Karyn Furstman, who was born and raised in Fullerton, California. Both of her parents were entrepreneurs. Her mom owned an art gallery, and her dad owned a pharmacy. And even from a very young age, she worked in both of those places, which kind of helped shape who she is today. Currently, she resides in Bellevue, Washington, and I'm so excited to have her. Karyn Furstman, are you ready to help us get over the hump?
I am. Thank you so much.
Well, that's awesome. Now, I've given our guests a little bit about you, but can you share something about what your current passion is so that we can get to know you better?
Sure. My current passion is really very much what my passion has been, I think, throughout my whole life. And as I've gotten more involved in really working in the CX and the customer experience capabilities, I've realized that my passion is really around taking care of people, taking care of others, and building relationships, because it's the relationships with people that we have that carry us through, regardless of it being a personal relationship or a business relationship, somebody that works for you or somebody that you work for. It's all about feeding those relationships as you move forward in your life.
And also know that you're one of those folks that does a great job of helping to build those relationships. I mean, Karyn, I know her through the Customer Experience Professionals Association. She's actually the vice chair of the CXPA, and I'm getting the chance to chat with her here at the Member Inside Exchange, where she has played a role with helping to recognize folks for taking care of others as well. So it's kind of like a community of care, which is just absolutely awesome. It's one of the places that you definitely want to be. But Karyn, we have a lot of things that help really motivate us and inspire us in a lot of ways. And we focus on leadership quotes at the Fast Leader Show. Is there one that kind of stands out to you that kind of drives you and pushes you forward each day?
Yeah,
Can you share that with us?
Absolutely. Sure. One thing I will say is it's really an exciting day for me personally, because I'm taking over as chair of the CXPA as of, I think, 5 o'clock tonight. So I'm really excited to be able to lead this organization going forward. And to that point, a leadership quote, and it's really something I've lived with, again, for many years. My mother, when she passed away about 5 years ago, I was looking through and going through all of her possessions in her house, and she owned this art gallery, as I said, and I came across this typed thing that was really sitting at her computer, and it's the quote that I've lived by for many years, and that is, find something that you're passionate about, and you'll never work a day in your life. And I live by that every single day.
Now, I think you've also kind of made that live on, because your mom's online store you've kept open, and you said she's passed 5 years now, and sorry about that, but why did you do that?
It was really important for me to carry on her legacy. She was so passionate about art and art glass, and she had a personal collection, but she had a website that after she was not able to have her physical gallery anymore, she kept an online presence, and she would bring people into her home, and she would connect people, and she would bring artists to people's houses to be able to showcase that. And it's one of the things that is really important about, number one, keeping the legacy alive around her passion and how glass brings so many things into people's imaginations, but it's also connecting people with artists. And that's really what I will do. If somebody was to see a piece of glass that's on the website, I will still be able to connect the artist with those individuals of wanting something of beauty. And that's really, she was about color and beauty.
Now, there's no doubt with being a female in an industry or in a role where you kind of have to, you almost have to do more than just sell the idea of being more customer-centric. Sometimes you just have to be downright strong and forceful about it. And I'm sure you've had a lot of humps or challenges to get over. Is there one that kind of sticks out to you that we can learn from?
I would say that it is really around, to your point, about being relentless, but positively relentless. And what I've really tried to do is, when I've had a situation where somebody's really not bought in, let's say at the executive level or the C-suite level, based on their role or based on maybe some previous concerns that they've had, I've really spent some time not just working with them one-on-one, but having them share in the accountability. So making it real for them to be able to, whether it be assigning a specific type of thing for them to be able to do, owning a moment of truth as an example, so that they became part of the thing that we were trying to change. Because I find that sometimes executives absolutely want to talk the talk, but oftentimes it's really hard for them to know what to do to actually walk the walk. And so providing some accountability for them, and it really, what I saw as a result was more impassioned leaders around the customer experience.
That's a very good point. When I went through university or college, I actually double majored in finance and real estate. And needless to say, I didn't go down that path. When I graduated, it was another recession. However, with the real estate, teaching and learning, I really got a better understanding of what they call in real estate is pride of ownership. Mm-hmm. So in other words, if you were to ride down the street, you could probably stop in front of the house that's a rental and pick it out, mm-hmm. because that ownership just isn't there. Mm-hmm. So I think what you're saying is that you are giving these guys, ladies, an opportunity to take some ownership, and then therefore it actually brought out their intrinsic passion or drive.
Exactly, because it helps them understand it more. Because what I've found in my years of transforming and leading change in organizations is that it really is, when people don't know what they need to do, it's hard for them to, they may say they embrace it, but until they actually experience it themselves. I also find, very simply, sometimes executives will have their own situation, a poor customer experience happen to them, and that helps motivate them as well.
So in other words, you want to push them into having a bad experience.
Don't really, but sometimes they just do, and it becomes their personal mission.
That's a good point. So if you were to say from the experiences that you had, what piece of advice would you give to our listeners?
From an advice perspective, what I would say is, don't take yourself too seriously and be authentic. Oftentimes, this is work that is very exciting, but it can also be sometimes 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. And again, back to that tenacity. And I think sometimes in business we take ourselves too seriously, and we're people. Back to my comment about building relationships. And if you can relate to people on a human level and be able to have fun, enjoy what you're doing and the ride that you're on together, oftentimes that takes you to a greater place. And I think we are so focused on business so much, and we have to make our numbers, and that's absolutely important. But it's the how you do things and engage and inspire your people that you're working with, or your siblings, or your parents, or your children, to be able to have some fun.
So if you were to say have fun, what is something that you are really focusing on right now that's giving you that fun?
That's a great question. Actually, I would say that back to fun and passion is what I said before, that I am taking over the helm of the CXPA. I believe that my work in customer experience is something that was meant for me to do. As I talked about, as you said earlier, I grew up with two parents who were in business for many years, and I really have this customer focus. And while I've held many jobs throughout my career, marketing, branding, product, P&L, bringing this all together has just been a very much inspiring way for me to move my life forward and to help other people. And through the CXPA and taking on this leadership position, it really allows me to help connect people who are all facing the same challenges, the same opportunities, to be able to move that needle forward. So I think that it is a great way for me to give back my passion.
Well, the Fast Leader Legion wishes you the very best. Okay, now, Karyn, it's time for the Hump Day Hoedown. The Hump Day Hoedown is the part of our show where I ask you several questions fast, and your job is to give us quick responses that are robust. So, Karyn, are you ready to hoe down?
I sure am.
All right. So what do you think is holding you back from being an even better leader today?
I would say that it's my time management and not having enough hours in the day, but being able to look at myself and make better use of my time so I can spend more time on value-added activities.
I have the same issue, that's for sure. Okay, so what's the best leadership advice you have ever received?
To be authentic. Don't be something you're not, and don't be a fake, but be you.
Can you share one of your personal habits that you strongly believe contributes to your leadership, life, or life success?
I would say that it is my ability to connect people and have a common greater good with being able to give back, and whether it's giving back to each other or helping to give back through the community. It's taking myself out of myself and being able to help other people.
Thanks for sharing that. What one book would you recommend to our Fast Leader Legion? I'm sure you have several good ones, but is there one that kind of stands out?
You know, it's just a recent one that I picked up at the airport on a business trip recently, and it really has had a profound impact. And it's called 10% Happiness, and it is by the author who he's a correspondent on ABC Good Morning America, and it talks a lot about how do you get just that 10% more happy? And he has some really interesting ways, both in your personal and your business life, to achieve that.
Well, we all definitely need to get more happy. So we're going to make a link to that off of our show notes page, which you're going to find at fastleader.net/Karyn Furstman. Okay, Karyn, now here's the last question on our Hump Day Hoedown. Imagine tomorrow you're going to be 25 years old again, and you get to take one skill or piece of knowledge back with you, and you get to choose what it is. What would you take back with you, and why?
Two that are related, and it would be about not worrying and living in the present. And I think in my career, as I've wanted, or as we move forward in our life, it's always about the wanting something else, or the wanting to be at that next phase. And this phase and this day is all that we have. So really being present brings out that in other people as well.
That sounds like some of the teachings that we get from that happiness part, is
absolutely.
that sometimes if we pursue too much, we don't find that happiness. So thank you for sharing that with us. Can you tell us how a Fast Leader Legion can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Karyn.Furstman, that's Karyn.Furstman, Furstman, @gmail.com, or Twitter is customers_first, FURST.
Karyn Furstman, we thank you for sharing and helping us get over the hump.
Thank you for joining me on the Fast Leader Show today. For recaps, links from every show, special offers, and access to download and subscribe, if you haven't already, head on over to fastleader.net so we can help you move onward and upward faster.